Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chema and this is Chema Stitches. Today we are going to be making a beachwear. Seeing the fabric, you probably have an idea what we're making today. I want to welcome all the old subscribers back to the channel. You guys are welcome. I'm very glad to have you guys back. And for the new subscribers, you're welcome. I'm very happy to have you. And if you're meeting this channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and join the family and you will not regret it. So now let's get straight into the cutting of the skirt part of this two-piece beachwear, which I absolutely love. Now what I have here is a total of 2 yards fabric, and I'm folding it into 4 so that I can have both the front part of the skirt part and the back part together. I'm going to be cutting it together. For the length of the skirt part, I'm going to be using 40 inches, and that's because I want it to really be flowy on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark out the 14 inches that I'm using for the length. After which I cut it out, and then I'm going to go ahead and separate the front from the back piece because I folded the fabric into 4 so they will stay together, and then I set it aside so I can work on the bralette. To cut out the bralette, I bring out a piece of paper and I mark out 8 inches on both sides and I connect the lines. After which I went ahead to cut it out, and then I went ahead to fold my paper into a triangle as you see me doing. Now I pick one edge of the triangle, the part that is covered, okay, and I fold it to meet the other end of the other side of the triangle as you see me doing. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the upper layer the way you see me cutting it out. After cutting it out, I had to take my tape rule and I measure 1.5 inches upwards from this pointy part, 1.5 inch up, and I came down as well by 1.5 inch and I marked it, and then I connected the 2 lines so I can cut it out. So this is to eliminate any bulgy or pointy parts on the bra cup, and then I cut it out. I open up my paper after cutting it out, and then I use my ruler to connect a straight line from the tip of the bra cup all the way to the center of each side of the bra cup, and then I go ahead and cut it, and I try not to cut it through so that we can create a slash and spread method. And then I went on to fold the remaining fabric so I can place the bra cup on it, and I cut it out. So as you can see me folding it into 2 because I'm going to be cutting 2 pieces for each part of the cup, and then I'm adding my allowance all around. I added 1/2 inch allowance all around, and then I took my ruler and I marked the center of the bra cup. This is because I'm going to be taking out the darts there to give us the curve that we want. And for each side of the curved area, I added 1/2 inch for joining, and so I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. After cutting it out, I had to use the same one as a pattern piece to cut out the lining piece because I'm using the same fabric as a lining piece because I always like my bralettes to be clean both from the inside and the outside. So I went ahead and cut it out like you see me doing. After cutting it out, I had to fold the fabric that is left to cut out the band for the skirt part of the 2-piece, and then I folded the remaining fabric as well to cut out the pocket for the skirt part. And now if you are making a full dress, like a dress that's going to be like a maxi for skirt or a gown, always cut your pocket. So I'm using my hand as a guide to trace out the pocket size I want. You can also use a measurement, but I like to use my hand and it always works for me. So I set it aside and I used the remaining fabric as well to cut out the band for the bralette, and then what the pieces that was left, I used it to cut out the rope we're going to be using for the bralette to fasten it around the neckline. Here is the band I cut out for the bralette, and because it's not long enough, I'm going to be extending it by adding this extra fabric, and I chose black for this extra that I'm going to be adding to it, and that's because black will go with any color, and again black will also fit in because there's black in the background of this fabric. So I'm going to pin it and go ahead and sew this on the side like so. Here is the rope that I cut out that we're going to be using for the neckline of the bralette. I'm just going to ahead and make a rope out of it and then use a loop turner to turn it inside out. And then for the bralette, I'm going to be taking out the pins so I can start joining it together. So I'm going to go ahead and sew each of them like so. I'm going to repeat the same thing on 4 pieces before I will join them all together. So here I've gone ahead to join the band for the bralette as you can see. As for the rope for the neckline, I've gone ahead to sew it to make a rope, and I turned this one inside out using a loop turner. If you don't know how to use a loop turner, you can check out our other sewing tutorial on bralette. You will see the link in the description box, and you will see how you use your loop turner to turn a rope that you've made. Okay, so now we're going to be attaching this rope. By the way, this is what you get after joining your bralette. Okay, this is that area that we've joined to give us that cupped effect. Okay, I'm going to take out the pin so we can attach the rope that we've turned inside out with a loop turner. And so to attach the rope, I place the rope at the midpoint like so of one of the bralette. I use the wrap piece to cover it, that's a lining piece, and then I'll go ahead and pin it all around. I'll go pin it all around like so. After pinning it, we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and I will sew it on the sides using a 1/2 inch allowance all the way. So this is one I have sewn like so. You turn it inside out, and I'm going to use a pin to hold it at each side because we're going to be running a loose stitch around this to give us gathers. This is both of them. To attach the bra cup to the band, I fold the band into two like so. I'm going to pin the midpoint, and from that midpoint I'm going to measure the underbust divided by 4. For me that is 7 inches because my underbust is 28 inches. So I'm marking at 7 inches on each side from the center. So from the midpoint I mark 7 inches on the right and 7 inches on the left like so. And then I pick out the bra cup and I'll go ahead and run a loose stitch on the hem like so to give us our gathers. So after running the loose stitch, I'll be placing the bra cup on the band, and I'm going to start from the center exactly where I pinned it. So I'm going to pin it like so, and then I'll use my pin to hold it down, and I'm also going to take the pin to hold it at the center and at the end like so. Then I'm going to gently pull the rope to gather it. So the point is to gather it and even out the gather so that it will have the same effect all around. And after gathering it, this is what we have. I'm going to go ahead and sew this on my sewing machine. This is it after I have joined it and I've taken out the pins as well. And I'll repeat the same thing on the other cup as well. And here they are. I've completed it and it's already looking like a bra cup. So now I'm going to pick up this side of the band and I'm going to top stitch it to finish it off. And then for the skirt part, I'm going to be attaching the pockets to the skirt part. So for our pockets, I'll just lay down the pocket like so, arrange the skirt part, the front and the back piece side by side. I'm going to measure 1.5 inch from the top edge and I'll start placing the pockets like so. Repeat the same process on the back piece and then go ahead and join the pocket. Here is the 2 pieces of the skirt band for the front and the back. And then I've attached the pocket as you can see, and also went ahead to run a loose stitch at the top edge of the skirt part like so, and that loose stitch is what I'm going to use to gather the waistline to match the waistline that I am working with. So you know your waistline you are working with, that is the measurement you're going to use to cut out your band, and you add your sewing allowance. And then on the band I mark out the middle point of the band and I pin it. I also mark out the middle point on the skirt pattern. I also pin it and then I match both middles together and pin it together. That way I get to evenly spread the gathers when I start gathering it. So I match the edges of both the band and the skirt part together, and then I start to pull the loose stitch I've made on the skirt band, try to gather it to make it the same length or width with the band that I have cut out. So when I'm done with this like so, just go ahead and pin it down together and then sew to hold it together. Repeat the same thing on the back piece. And so here is the bralette that is also ready. Don't forget to go ahead and iron the band of this bralette and the sides of the bralette as well. Iron it very neatly. And then for this skirt part, I'm going to go ahead and complete the hemming of the band. Fold in the band like so and go ahead and top stitch it, and this is it. I have done it. Now we're going to be joining the sides, and to join the sides I just have to pin it together. And then I measured from the waistline. I got 14 inches because it's going to be having side slits, and I went ahead to pin it all the way up to that 14 inches. So this is what I'm going to be doing. For this part I'm going to be sewing from the pocket. On one side I'm sewing just from the pocket all the way to the 14 inches, while on the other side I will sew from the top to the 14 inches. Alright guys, so at this point if you look, you are going to see that I've gone ahead to overlock this, and this is where I stopped, where the slit on the side is going to stop, and this is where it is on this side. Okay, so I've gone ahead to use overlocking machine to overlock it. This is to give it neat finishing. So this is the side I sewed completely, and this is the part where I left an opening for a fastener. You can use your zip as a fastener or a hook. You can use a hook and eye as your fastener, or you can use a zipper. So but for me I'm going to be using a zipper, so I'm going to go ahead and sew a zipper here. That would be the fastener for it. Also the reason why I had to go ahead and weave here is so that I can just fold it down once and top stitch it. So I'm going to fold it down once and top stitch it all the way to the hem, and then I'm going to go ahead and hem the end of the skirt, and this skirt is going to be ready, and I will try it on and show us how it look. If at this point guys you're yet to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe, and also hit the like button so that this community can grow. You can also share these videos. I would appreciate that. I like to also hear from you guys, so please don't forget to drop comments in the comment section. And here is our top, which is also ready, the bralette top. So I'm going to style this and wear it and show us how it looks. When you try yours, you can also share the pictures or videos with us on our Facebook page at Creative Tailoring and Styling. I can't wait to see your work, and if there are any corrections or any questions you have, drop them in the comment section. I'm going to get to them. And of course, you know, we added this as an extension for the band because the fabric was not long enough, but it came out nice. So see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye bye.